Tonight, as you lie beneath the gentle hush of twilight, your body sinking into the familiar softness of your bed, there is nothing more you need to do. Let the cares of the day slip away, like fallen leaves floating down a quiet stream. The moon watches from behind a veil of thin clouds, a silent companion in the vast, star-powdered sky. You are safe here. There is no rush, no expectation, only this moment, and the simple rhythm of your breath. Perhaps, like many of us, you carry things unseen thoughts, old stories, worries that linger at the edges of consciousness. The mind, clever and tireless, often tells us that if we think a little harder, strive a little more, we will finally be at peace. But tonight, I invite you to consider, what if peace is not something to be earned or chased, but something already here? Beneath the noise, let me share with you a story from the old Zen tradition. It is a tale not of faraway temples or elaborate rituals, but of a simple question asked from the depths of a seeking heart. Perhaps, as you listen, you too may glimpse the freedom that comes not from adding more, but from letting go. Long ago, in a small temple nestled at the foot of misty mountains in China, there lived an elderly master named Joshu. He was a quiet figure, slender as a bamboo stalk, eyes clear as a mountain spring. Though his fame had spread far, he remained rooted in simplicity, tending his daily tasks with the same mindful presence as his meditation. One crisp morning, beneath branches heavy with cherry blossoms, a young monk approached Joshu. The monk's brow was furrowed with the weight of a question that had haunted him through countless hours of study and meditation. He had renounced his possessions, his family name, even the comforts of ordinary life. And yet, within him, a subtle heaviness remained. Bowing deeply, he spoke, "Master, I have given up everything. I own nothing, carry nothing. Yet still, I feel burdened. Please, tell me, who am I when I carry nothing? What remains when all else is let go?" For a long moment, there was only the sound of wind stirring the blossoms, the faint murmur of the nearby stream. Then Joshu looked at the young monk and said, simply, "Put it down." End quote. The monk blinked, confused. He held out his empty hands. "But master, I am carrying nothing. What is there to put down?" Joshu's gaze did not waver. "Then carry it." "Oh dear." It was as if the words themselves struck a silent bell within the young monk. His mind, always eager to grasp and analyze, fell momentarily still. And in that stillness, something deeper stirred in, understanding beyond thought. Tears welled in his eyes, not from sadness, but from a kind of recognition, like meeting an old friend, long forgotten. He bowed again, deeply, then quietly returned to his daily work. Yet now, his movements were different, unhurried, unforced. The burden he had carried all this time, unseen, had somehow dissolved. What had Joshu pointed to with those simple words? Not another teaching to grasp, not a new technique to master. He had revealed the subtlest of traps, that even our ideas of letting go can become something we cling to. We may renounce the world, yet secretly carry pride in that renunciation. We may strive for emptiness, yet attach to the very notion of having no attachments. True freedom does not come from perfecting emptiness, nor from constantly watching ourselves to ensure we are doing it right. It arises naturally when the endless inner commentary quiets, when we cease trying to possess or reject any state of being. Tonight, as you rest here, perhaps there are things within you that you've been carrying a tension in the shoulders, a thought that loops endlessly, an old self-image. Notice them gently, no need to push them away, but also no need to hold them tighter. Sometimes, the most profound shift comes not from effort, but from a simple turning of the heart, like leaves drifting to the ground without struggle, like breath entering and leaving the body without force. What if, just for this moment, you allowed everything to be as it is, without grasping, without resistance? There is nothing you must achieve before sleep takes you. No perfection of mind or body required. The moon does not strive to shine, nor does the river strive to flow. And you, too, are part of this natural unfolding. So as your body becomes heavier, the rhythm of your breath slower, know this: whatever you are carrying, you may set it down. And if the mind says, "But I have nothing left to set down," smile gently and carry that, too, lightly, without effort. In this space of soft allowing, peace arises not as something earned, but as what remains when striving ceases. Rest here. There is nowhere else to be. The night deepens. Outside your window, the world grows quieter still. The hum of daytime life has faded, leaving space for a more subtle kind of listening. Notice your breath once more. Soft and natural, feel your body settling further into stillness. There is nowhere to go, nothing to fix. You are simply here, in this moment of rest. Sometimes, life offers us challenges, not as obstacles, but as invitations to discover a deeper steadiness within you's zone, not swayed by the shifting winds of circumstance. Let me tell you a story. In a small temple high in the snow-covered mountains of Japan, winter had come with unusual fierceness. The stone courtyard lay dusted with frost. Icicles hung from the eaves, catching the pale light of dawn. The breath of each monk emerged in visible clouds as they moved through their morning tasks. Inside the main hall, however, a curious sheen unfolded. At the center of the room sat Master Genko, an elder monk known for his quiet wisdom. Around him knelt 6 young monks, each holding a large paper fan. But this was no summer day. The air in the hall was as cold as the courtyard outside. The monks' knuckles were red, their bodies occasionally trembling from the chill. And yet, with slow, deliberate movements, they fanned the master in unison. A visitor, a merchant from the nearby town, entered and paused in confusion. He turned to the temple's head monk, Joe, and asked in a hushed voice, "Why are they fanning the master? Surely not for coolness in this bitter cold." Joe smiled gently. "They are not fanning to cool the air. They are training their minds." "Aye." The merchant blinked, clearly bewildered. "But wouldn't it be wiser to tend the fire instead?" Again, Joe's smile deepened. "This practice is not about comfort. It is about unwavering presence." "Aye," he explained. "In summer, when the heat is stifling, the young monks often resist this task, thinking it serves only the master's comfort. They grow impatient, wishing to stop. But now, in winter, that illusion is stripped away. They see the true purpose: to continue with full attention regardless of conditions." And the merchant was silent, considering, and perhaps, as you listen now, You too feel the resonance of this teaching in your own life. How often do we allow external circumstances to dictate our presence, our effort, our commitment? We tell ourselves, when things are easier, I will practice. When I feel inspired, I will act. But wisdom lies in the consistency of the heart, in meeting each moment fully, not only when it is pleasant or convenient. Back in the hall, the young monks continued fanning, each sweep of the fan slow and mindful. Their discomfort was real, the cold biting into their fingers, the fatigue setting into their arms, yet something deeper held them steady. After some time, Master Janko opened his eyes and signaled with a subtle gesture. The fans were lowered in perfect unison. The room fell into a profound stillness. You have begun to understand true practice, the Master said, not when the world makes it easy for you, but when you remain steady amid the difficult. Oh, one young monk, whose arms had visibly trembled, spoke softly. When I focused completely on each movement, I forgot the cold. It was only when my mind drifted to complaint that suffering returned. Oh, the Master nodded. This is the way. Let your attention rest fully in what is here, not in the mind's stories about it. Oh, now, as you rest here in your own space, perhaps there are parallels to notice. Are there places in your life where you wait for conditions to be perfect before engaging fully? A creative project set aside because the mood is not right? A practice postponed because the schedule is too full? A relationship neglected because the timing feels inconvenient? But life itself is not waiting. It is unfolding now, breath by breath, and your presence, the attention you bring to this very momentous, the heart of the path. There is no need to strain or force. Simply allow yourself to meet what is here. If rest arises, welcome it. If wakefulness lingers, be present with that. 2. Like the monks fanning in winter, the deeper freedom is found not in resisting discomfort, nor in craving ease, but in touching each moment with gentle, steady awareness. And as you continue to relax, feel your own rhythm. The breath flows naturally. The body grows heavier, sinking deeper into the support beneath you. You do not need to control this. Just as the monks moved in harmony with each breath of their fans, you too can rest in harmony with the quiet unfolding of this night. For now, let the mind grow spacious. Let the body soften. There is nothing more required of you in this space between thought and stillness. A deeper wisdom gently awakens like snow falling silently on an empty courtyard. Rest here. As the night deepens further, your breath continues its soft, natural rhythm. Each exhale carries you a little deeper into rest, as if your body is a small boat drifting gently on the current of sleep. Let yourself float. There is nothing to hold, nothing to resist. And while your body rests, the mind may still wander. That is natural. Sometimes it revisits the day's events or drifts toward plans for tomorrow. But tonight, let us walk together along a quieter path that leads not toward doing or achieving, but toward being. I will tell you another story. It was a sweltering summer afternoon in a mountain temple of Japan. The sun pressed down with unrelenting heat. Even the stone courtyard radiated warmth like a great oven. The air was heavy, thick with the sound of cicadas, rising and falling like waves. In the heart of this still and shimmering heat, a curious sight unfolded. There stood Master Kasan, renowned throughout the province as a figure of great dignity and integrity. But what caught the eye that day was not his presence alone, it was his attire. While the younger monks wore simple cotton robes suited for the season, Master Kassan stood in the full ceremonial dress of a Zen master, 9 heavy layers of silk brocade, each intricately patterned, each carrying the weight of tradition. The formal black hat of his office rested squarely on his head. His garments were more fitting for an imperial audience or a grand ceremony, not for a day such as this. Sweat beaded on his forehead and traced slow paths down his face. His layers were visibly damp, yet he moved with calm, deliberate grace, inspecting the temple grounds, adjusting a stone here, pulling a stray weed there, completely present with each small action. From the veranda, 2 young monks watched, perplexed. "Why does the master wear all 9 layers in this heat?" one whispered. "There is no ceremony today." The older monks, too, noticed, though none dared question aloud. But among them was Sotan, the temple's elder head monk and Master Kassan's close friend of many years. Knowing the younger monk's unspoken questions, and perhaps feeling them himself, he approached. With a respectful bow, Sotan spoke gently. "Master, the afternoon is unusually hot. Might it not be wiser today to wear lighter robes?" Master Kassan regarded him with steady eyes, a faint smile playing at his lips. "The robes," he replied softly, "are not for show, nor are they for comfort. They are a reminder, a mirror for the one who wears them." Sotan nodded, understanding, yet still curious. He pressed gently, "But there are no visitors here today? No audience to witness the master's dignity?" At this, Kassan's smile deepened. "That is precisely why I wear them," he said. "When we believe we can be one person in public and another in private, we divide ourselves. In truth, there is no difference between being seen and unseen. The sun does not rise only when we watch it. The rain does not fall only for grand occasions." And with these words, he turned and continued his inspection, moving with the same composed grace, despite the weight of his robes and the heat of the day. And as twilight fell and the heat began to soften, the younger monks gathered in quiet discussion. "I thought the formal robes were just for appearances," one said, "but the master wears them even when no one is watching." An older monk replied, "That is the teaching. The robes are not a costume to be put on and taken off. They are an expression of who he has chosen to be always." Perhaps, as you listen now, you recognize this in your own life. How often do we act one way when others are watching, and another when we are alone? How often do we maintain our commitments only when it is convenient or visible? Yet the heart of true practice, the heart of true living, is found in the moments no one sees. It is easy to be diligent when praised, generous when acknowledged, kind when others applaud. But what of the quiet moments, the unseen hours? Master Kassan's robes were heavy, yes, but he carried them lightly, not as a burden, but as an embodiment of his path. In the same way, each of us carries invisible robes, the values we aspire to live by: integrity, compassion, presence. These are not for display. They are for us to live, moment to moment. And now, as you rest deeper into stillness, perhaps you can feel the simplicity of this. There is no need to prove yourself tonight, no audience before whom you must perform. You are here, alone, And that is enough. Yet even here, in this private moment, the breath continues. The heart beats. Life moves through you. How gently can you meet it? Like Master Kasan beneath his heavy robes? Can you meet this moment not with strain, but with presence? Not because anyone watches, but because the simple act of being alive is itself worthy of your full attention. And as you feel your body growing heavier with each breath, remember, the deepest practice is not a special event. It is a way of moving through the ordinary, a way of meeting each moment with the same care, whether in solitude or among many. For now, there is no need to wear any mask, no need to adjust for others. Just rest here whole, present. As you are, the night embraces you. The night has grown deeper still. The world outside lies wrapped in a hush. Perhaps you feel it, the subtle quiet that arrives when the hours turn soft and slow. With each breath, your body rests heavier, more surrendered to the gentle pull of sleep. And as the body rests, the mind, too, may soften its grip. It need not solve, nor strive. Tonight, I will share with you a story, a simple one. And yet, as often in Zen, the simplest gestures hold the deepest truths. In a modest countryside school, tucked away in the green hills of Japan, there lived a schoolmaster, a man known not for grand teachings or fame, but for his unassuming wisdom. His students were children of farmers and villagers, learning not only words and numbers, but also lessons in life and spirit. Among them were 3 young monks' boys on the threshold of adolescence, full of ambition and restless energy. One morning, after a period of meditation, these 3 burst into the schoolroom, their faces alight with excitement. "Master," the tallest exclaimed, "during meditation, I saw Confucius himself. He spoke to me." "Master," cried the second, "I met Lao Tzu. In my vision, he revealed hidden truths of the Tao." And the third, eager not to be outdone, declared, "Buddha appeared to me in golden light. He told me I have a special destiny." The younger students watched in wide-eyed wonder. The room, moments before filled with quiet concentration, now hummed with the drama of their claims. But the schoolmaster did not rush to praise, nor did he scold. He simply regarded them with calm presence. After a moment, he rose and said, "Come with me." Puzzled, the 3 followed him to the kitchen. There, an elderly cook prepared the midday meal with practiced grace, his hands moving with a calm rhythm honed over decades. The master took down a small jar from the shelf. "Taste this," he said, offering it to the boys. "Tell me what you find." The first boy tasted and grimaced. "Bitter. It must be some strange herb." The second sampled cautiously. "No, it is sour, like unripe fruit." The third, determined to appear discerning, proclaimed, "You are both mistaken. It is salt, intensely salty." The master said nothing. He simply looked at them, allowing the contradiction to settle. At last, he spoke, his voice gentle. "You cannot agree on the taste of something so simple. Here before you, known through your own tongues. Yet moments ago, you each claimed to know the words and wisdom of ancient sages, beings long gone, perceived only in the mind." The room fell silent. The young monks looked down, their earlier pride dissolving like mist in the morning sun. And perhaps As you listen, you too feel the echo of this lesson. How easily the mind, in its longing for significance, can weave stories. How often we mistake the vividness of thought for the clarity of truth. In our journeys, whether spiritual, creative, or personal, it is tempting to seek special experiences, to believe that progress lies in what dazzles or impresses. But Zen gently reminds us, the deepest wisdom often resides in the most ordinary things. The taste of salt, the breath moving in and out, the feel of your body resting here. No visions are needed, no grand attainments, only honest attention to what is fitly. And so, as you lie here, notice, is there anywhere you have sought to appear wise or special? Any subtle pride in what you know or how far you have come? If so, there is no need for shame. Simply recognize it, like noticing a cloud drifting across the sky. You can let it go. You can return again and again to this, the simplicity of the present moment, the breath, the body, the quiet hum of life unfolding. In the kitchen that day, the schoolmaster placed the jar back on the shelf and turned to the boys. True wisdom, he said softly, begins with knowing when to be silent. End quote. And sometimes, that is the greatest practice of all, not to speak of what we think we know, but to rest in the simple truth of what is here. As you drift deeper now, there is no need to compare, no need to prove. Let the mind settle like still water. Let the body sink into the quiet embrace of rest. For in this space of simplicity, the most profound truths often arisen not as dazzling visions, but as the clear taste of life itself. Rest here. The hours of the night grow softer now. Perhaps you feel it a quiet spaciousness, like a wide sky opening within. The breath moves with ease. The body nestles deeper into its resting place. There is nothing to chase here, no goal to reach, only the natural rhythm of rest unfolding, moment by moment. And in this gentle space, let me share another story. In a modest room within a mountain temple, an elderly master sat before a simple wooden desk. His name was Master Sengaya Man, known as much for his ink paintings as for his deep understanding of the way. On this morning, a young monk named Taiko knelt before him. The boy's eyes were hollow with exhaustion, his shoulders tight with strain. For 3 years, he had devoted himself with fierce discipline, meditating through the night, reciting sutras from dawn to dusk, eating sparingly, denying himself rest. Yet despite his relentless efforts, peace eluded him. The harder he strove, the more restless his mind became. "Master," he pleaded, voice taut with fatigue, "I have given everything. Why can I not find enlightenment?" Sengai did not reply with words. Instead, he turned to his inkstone, grinding the stick with slow, unhurried movements. The subtle rasping filled the quiet room, drawing the young monk's attention away from his turmoil. Then, with one fluid gesture, Sengai dipped his brush and drew a single line across the rice paper. It began thin, grew fuller in the center, then tapered again at the end, a line that breathed with life, neither rigid nor sloppy, but balanced and free. Sliding the paper toward the young monk, Sengai finally spoke. "This is the middle way." The monk blinked. "Boozlet, it is only a line." Look again," the master invited, And as the boy studied, something shifted in his gaze. The line was not uniform, nor forced. It carried the grace of natural movement, neither strained nor careless. In your practice, Sengai said softly, you have pulled too tightly, like this end of the linso tense. It may snap. Oh, he gestured to the other end. Before, perhaps you were too loose, without enough direction. Oh, finally, he placed his finger on the full, living center of the line. Here lies the way not in extremes, but in the balance between effort and ease. Oh, and perhaps, as you lie here tonight, this teaching resonates within you. How often in life do we swing between extremes? We push ourselves with relentless effort, believing that only through struggle can we succeed. Then, exhausted, we collapse into inaction, thinking perhaps nothing matters. But the middle way invites a different rhythm knot, a stagnant middle, but a dynamic dance, adjusting moment to moment, like the breath not held too tightly, nor let go entirely, but flowing naturally, like your body now supported by the bed beneath you, yet free to soften, to rest. Master Sengai continued, to breathe is to live this middle way. If you force the breath, it becomes strained. If you ignore it, it fades. But when you simply attend to it, allowing it to rise and fall, there is ease, and life flows. Oh, the young monk's shoulders softened. The fierce grip of striving loosened. He saw that his desperate effort had become its own form of bondage. Sengai smiled. Balance, he said, is not easy. It is the most subtle practice of all, for it asks you to meet each moment freshly, not from habit, not from force, but with honest attention. End of trust. And so it is here, in this moment, as you rest. Notice if the mind pulls toward tension or toward dullness. Without judgment, simply return to the breath, to the felt sense of your body supported by the earth. There is no perfect way to rest, no right way to breathe. Only this, meeting what is here with gentle presence. In this space, balance arises not as something to achieve, but as something revealed when striving falls away. The middle way is not a distant goal. It is here, in this breath, in the soft rise and fall of the chest, in the weight of the body sinking into stillness. And as you drift deeper, know this, you do not need to perfect yourself tonight. You do not need to arrive anywhere, like Master Sengai's brushstroke. Life flows best when we release the grip of extremes and allow the natural movement of being. Rest now, in this quiet middle, between effort and letting go, between thought and sleep, between the world outside and the quiet unfolding within. Here, there is peace. The night is deep and still. Outside, the world rests beneath a velvet sky. The hum of life has quieted, leaving space for a deeper kind of listening that comes not from the ears, but from the heart. Perhaps now, your breath feels softer, your body heavier, as if being gently cradled by the earth itself. There is nowhere to go, nowhere to be, just this quiet moment. And in this space, I will share with you another simple story, one that speaks of a wisdom. We often overlook the wisdom of knowing when to hold on and when to let go. In a small village, surrounded by rice fields and winding paths, there lived a farmer named Teo. He was a man of steady habits and kind heart. well respected by his neighbors. His wife, Akiko, was known for her diligence and Korea woman who kept the family household running with precision and thrift. Yet as the seasons passed and their fortunes grew, something began to weigh upon the family. Though the harvests were plentiful, the home grew tense. The children wore clothes too small. Neighbors in need received little help, and offerings to the village temple dwindled. Teo, troubled, sought counsel from Master Mokusen, the abbot of the local temple monk known not for grand sermons, but for teachings that spoke to the heart. One afternoon, beneath the golden light of a late summer sun, Master Mokusen visited the farmer's home. There, in the simple, well-kept house, he met Akiko. She welcomed him politely, her movements precise, her words carefully measured. Yet beneath her composed manner, the master sensed a tensione, tightness that went beyond the surface. After tea was served, Mokusen said softly, "May I show you something?" Without waiting for a reply, he extended his right hand and slowly clenched it into a tight fist. The knuckles whitened. The tendons stood out. Then, beside it, he opened his left-hand fingers, spread, palm relaxed and empty. "What do you see?" he asked gently. Akiko's brows furrowed. "A closed hand and an open one," she replied cautiously. The master smiled. "Yes, and what can each do?" She thought for a moment. "A closed hand can hold, protect, grasp. An open hand can give or receive." The room fell silent as understanding dawned. Mokusen continued, his voice as calm as the summer breeze. "Both are needed in life. To hold is not wrong. There is wisdom in care, in protecting what is precious. But if the hand remains closed too long, it can neither give nor receive. It becomes isolated, tense, alone." And he paused, letting the words settle. "In the same way," he said, "when we cling too tightly to wealth, to control, even to ideals, we may believe we are protecting what matters, but we may also be shutting out joy, connection, and the flow of life itself." And Akiko looked down at her own hands, resting in her lap fingers, unconsciously curled. Slowly, she opened them, palms facing upward. "I have been holding too tightly," she whispered. "I thought I was protecting our family, but perhaps I have also been closing us off." And there was no judgment in Mokusen's gaze, only quiet compassion. "It is natural," he said, "and it is never too late to open the hand. And perhaps, as you lie here, this story stirs a gentle reflection within you. Are there places in your life where you hold too tightly? A fear, a belief, an expectation, a way of being? To hold is not wrong. There are times to protect, to preserve, and there are times to open, to give, to receive, to let life flow through you. Like the breath, you cannot hold it forever, nor can you live without it. It moves in and out effortlessly, naturally. And so too, the heart. There are moments to gather close, and moments to release. Tonight, in this space of rest, perhaps you can soften your grasp just a little on the thoughts that visit you, on the need to be anything other than what you are in this moment. There is nothing to fix here, nothing to achieve. Like an open hand resting on the lap, you can meet this moment with gentle receptivity, Feel your body sinking deeper now, the breath moving with ease, the mind softening like petals opening to the night. For now, there is no need to decide what to hold or what to release. Simply rest in the knowing that both are part of life's dance, and that in each moment, your heart will know which is called for. Rest here, in this space of openness. The night embraces you. The night has settled into its deepest stillness. Perhaps you feel it a kind of spacious quiet that is not empty, but full of presence. The breath moves on its own. The body rests heavier, more surrendered. There is no need to follow the drifting thoughts. Let them come and go like clouds across an open sky. And now, in this gentle space, let me tell you a story of the moon, of water, and of giving. Long ago, in the city of Kyoto, there lived a wealthy silk merchant. His house was grand, adorned with the finest furnishings. And on this night, he prepared an elaborate banquet to impress his distinguished guests. No expense was spared. Musicians played delicate melodies. Rare delicacies were served, and sake flowed freely. But amid the wealth and the careful display, there was an undercurrent of tension. The merchant was anxious, for among his guests that evening was a most unusual figure, Master Ikkyu, a Zen monk known for his unconventional wisdom. When Ikkyu arrived, dressed in simple robes, carrying only his wooden bowl, the atmosphere shifted. The polished manners and carefully measured words of the gathering gave way to a quiet curiosity. The monk accepted the host's greeting with a small nod and took his place. Throughout the evening, he remained silent, eating modestly, offering neither praise nor complaint. His presence unsettled the merchant more than any criticism could have. At last, seeking to bridge the gap, the merchant approached with a smile that did not quite reach his eyes. "Master," he said politely, "may I offer you more sake? Or perhaps another dish?" Ikkyu looked at him with eyes that seemed to see through all pretenses. "Thank you," and he replied, "but I would like only a simple cup of water from your well." The room stilled. Water? When the finest sake in Kyoto was being poured? The merchant hesitated, confused, but quickly recovered. "Of course, Master. I will have it brought at once." Ikkyu shook his head gently. "I would prefer to draw it myself. Would you show me the way?" Intrigued. Several guests followed as the merchant led Ikkyu into the garden, where a stone well stood beneath the silver light of the full moon. The air was cool and clear. The garden hushed. Ikkyu approached the well and leaned over its edge. Far below, the dark water held a perfect reflection of the moon round, luminous, still. Turning to the gathering, he asked softly, "What do you see?" The moon reflected in the water. One guest replied. Ikkyu nodded. "Indeed, the moon travels thousands of miles across the sky. Yet here it is, resting perfectly in this humble well." He drew up a bucket of water, breaking the reflection, and drank deeply. Then he spoke again. "This water quenches thirst perfectly, asking nothing in return. It makes no distinction between rich or poor, noble or common. The moon above, too, shines on all alike, without preference, without condition." He looked at the merchant. "True generosity is like this well. It gives freely, without calculation, without seeking recognition." Mayor, the merchant stood in silence. And perhaps, as you listen now, you feel the quiet wisdom of these words. How often even in our giving, do we seek something in return? A word of thanks, a sign of approval, a subtle elevation of our image. Yet the deepest gifts arise not from such seeking, but from a heart that overflows naturally, like water drawn from a well. And sometimes, the greatest generosity is not in what we give, but in how we give in the absence of expectation, in the presence of openness. As you lie here, resting in the dark, consider, where in your life might you open the hand of giving a little more, not through effort or duty, but through a natural response to the needs around you? And also, where might you receive more, openly allowing yourself to be nourished by the gifts life offers freely, the breath moving through you, the softness of the night, the stillness within. In the garden that night, the merchant bowed deeply to Ikkyu. "Master," he said, his voice sincere, "I have been giving like a merchant, always calculating, but the well gives without thought. I see now." And of Ikkyu smiled gently. "The well has always been in your garden. You needed only to see it." Hen. And so, as you drift deeper into this space of rest, imagine the moon reflected in the still water of your own heart, perfect, complete, needing nothing. There is no need to grasp, no need to perform. Like the moon in the well, your true nature shines most clearly when the waters of the mind grow calm. Rest here, in this gentle clarity. The night embraces you. The night deepens, drawing you gently toward rest. The body lies still, cradled in softness. The breath moves effortlessly now, like a tide rising and falling. Each wave a quiet invitation to let go a little more. And in this tender space between wakefulness and sleep, let me tell you a story not of grand temples or distant sages, but of one young monk, a wall, and the wisdom of a teacher who knew that the softest touch can reach where the strictest rule cannot. In a mountain temple shrouded in mist, the community of monks lived in disciplined harmony. Each followed the daily rhythms of meditation, study, and simple work. But among them was a young monk named Dazana, bright spirit, earnest in practice, yet restless at heart. Though he honored the temple rules by day, at night his longing stirred the pull of the nearby town, its laughter, its stories. The flicker of lanterns beyond the temple walls called to something inside him that the silent halls could not quiet. And so, under cover of darkness, Dozan would climb the eastern wall, aided by a small wooden stool he had hidden nearby. Slipping out into the night, he would seek the life beyond the temple gates only to return hours later, unnoticed, back to his mat before dawn. But new action, however secret, remains unseen forever. One crisp night, beneath a sky of countless stars, Master Sangaith Temple's abbot emerged from meditation. In the cool silence, he noticed the stool, its placement too precise to be accidental, the marks in the gravel too fresh to ignore. He said nothing. Instead, he removed the stool, tucked it from sight, and stood where it had been still, silent, waiting beneath the moon. An hour passed, then another. At last, footsteps approached, soft, practiced, familiar. Dozan returned, unaware of the waiting presence below. Leaping lightly to the top of the wall, he glanced down and froze. Where his trusted stool should have stood, there now stood Master Sangai, gazing up with calm, unwavering eyes. In that breathless moment, Dozen's heart pounded. Shame surged, fear rising with it. He had been caught, surely there would be punishment. Perhaps explosion. The double life he had lived now lay exposed beneath the pale moon. But then, the unexpected happened. With quiet voice, Sangai spoke. "It is cold at this hour. Be careful not to catch a chill." And without another word, the master turned and walked away, leaving the young monk perched on the wall, stunned, unmoving. Perhaps as you listen, you can feel the depth of that moment. How sometimes it is not harshness, but compassion that awakens us to our own choices. The next evening, unable to rest, Dozan sat alone on the veranda long after the others had gone to bed. His thoughts churned not with guilt, but with something deeper, the weight of the master's kindness, which revealed more than any scolding could. Master Sangai approached and sat beside him, neither rushing nor pressing. At last, Dozan spoke. "Master, why did you not punish me?" Sangai's voice was soft. "Punishment teaches fear, but you already see what you must see. What I offer is a question. What are you truly seeking beyond these walls?" The young monk's eyes lowered. "Freedom," he whispered. "A life less bound by rules, yet I return each time more weary. Less free." Sangai nodded. "The wall you climb is not the one that binds you. It is the wall within." Then he added, "Tonight, the temple gate remains open. You may leave freely through the gate, or stay, but choose with your whole heart, not with a divided mind." And with that, the master left him once more in silence. As dawn approached, Dozan rose not toward the open gate, but toward the meditation hall. There, beneath the first light of morning, he sat not from duty, but from choice. The midnight climbing ceased not because of greater walls, but because the questions that drove them had been met with compassion, not condemnation. And perhaps, as you rest here, this story invites reflection. Where do you, too, live in quiet division, longing for one path, walking another, climbing invisible walls of your own making? And what would it feel like to meet that place within, not with judgment, but with gentle understanding? To ask, what am I truly seeking? In this night, there is no gate to climb, no need to flee, nor to prove. Only this breath, this body resting, this moment of honest presence. Perhaps this, too, is a kind of freedom, not the freedom of escaping life, but of meeting it, whole and unhidden. As you drift deeper now, feel the gentle spaciousness within you, like an open gate beneath the stars. No striving, no pretending, just the simple truth of being here. Rest well. The night has grown deep and tender. The body rests in its own stillness now. Breath moving gently. Mind drifting like a small boat on a calm lake. There is no need to follow the thoughts that arise, simply watch them come and go, like leaves on the water. And in this space of softness, I will share one last story for Tanita. Story about letting go of striving, about allowing wisdom to arise not from effort, but from ease. In an old school during a time of great change in Japan, a respected headmaster taught both ancient poetry and modern thought. His students were eager, ambitious, some seeking mastery, others hoping to impress. One day, As the lesson turned to the art of Chinese poetry, a bright young student raised his hand. "Master," he asked earnestly, "I understand the rules of form, the structure, the meter, but how can I write a poem that is truly alive?" The headmaster looked at him for a long moment, then replied with a faint smile, "If you wish to write true poetry first, drink a gallon of sake, then lie beneath the warm autumn sun in a field." End of quote. A ripple of surprise passed through the room. Was this a jest? The student, puzzled, pressed further. "But master, won't that make me careless? How can I maintain precision?" The headmaster's smile deepened. "The rules I teach are the vessel, but poetry is born when the thinking mind dissolves. The sake and the sun are not prescriptions, but a pointing to a state of being where effort falls away and life itself begins to speak." "Oh," it continued, "consider the cherry tree. Does it consult a manual to arrange its blossoms? Does the moon worry about its reflection on the water? And perhaps, as you lie here now, this teaching speaks to you. How often do we seek wisdom, peace, creativity by striving, by effort and calculation? Yet the deepest insights often arise not through force, but through allowing, like the breath, which deepens naturally when we cease trying to control it, like the body, which releases into sleep when no longer pushed toward it. There is a time for learning the forms, for practice, for discipline, but there is also a time to lie beneath the sky, to let the sun warm the skin, to feel life moving through you without effort, without agenda. In your own life, where might you be striving too hard, holding too tightly to doing it right? And what would it be like, just for this moment, to release the effort to trust that something deeper than the thinking mind is already here, already awake? Tonight, there is no poem to write, no understanding to reach, only this: the body resting, the breath moving, the heart quietly beating. Let the mind grow spacious, like a field beneath the open sky. If thoughts arise, let them drift like clouds. If stillness comes, welcome it like the warmth of the sun. You do not need to strive for peace. It is here when striving ceases. As the old master said, when form and freedom become one, true poetry emerges. I ding. And so too, the poetry of this moment arises not through effort, but through the gentle allowing of what is. Rest now. No more to do, no more to seek. Let the night carry you. And now, the night has entered its most tender hours. The air seems to thrum with stillness. Even the stars, scattered across the vastness above, feel softer somehow, like lanterns floating in a sea of darkness. You are here, resting deeply. The breath moves in quiet waves. The body is held in perfect ease, as though the earth itself cradles you. There is no need to stir, no need to reach. Everything has slowed to a rhythm older than thought. Perhaps you find yourself drifting between the edges of these stories and the quiet of your own being. And this is just as it should be. For the stories I have shared tonight are not meant to be grasped or analyzed. They are not puzzles to be solved. They are seeds, carried gently on the wind, falling where they may in the soil of your heart. Each story a simple image, a moment of lived truth. The monk and the empty hands, the young monks fanning in the winter chill, the old master beneath layers of silk robes in the summer heat, the boys tasting salt, their pride dissolving in a single moment. The brush stroke of balance, The open and closed hands, the moon reflected in a well, a wall climbed beneath the star sand, an open gate waiting quietly. Each of these moments, though drawn from ancient lives and distant places, points to something very close, closer than breath, closer than thought. They point to this life, your life, here, now. And as you lie in this tender space, the stories may begin to weave together, not as a linear path, but as a quiet thread, running beneath the surface of things. What is that thread? Perhaps it is this, that life, in its deepest truth, does not ask us to perfect ourselves. It asks only that we be present, fully, honestly, gently. That wisdom is not achieved through striving, but through opening. That true strength lies not in force, but in knowing when to hold and when to release. That the breath, the body, the heart all know how to return to balance when we stop interfering. You do not need to remember these stories. They will live within you now, in ways beyond words, like the taste of salt, once known. It cannot be forgotten, like the feel of breath deepening on its own, once trusted. It does not need to be controlled, and perhaps, in the days to come, when life offers its moments of challenge or grace, something in you will remember. The stillness of the moon in the well, the lightness of robes worn with integrity, the quiet teaching of a teacher who chose compassion over punishment, the wisdom of an open hand, the freedom that arises when the striving mind is allowed to rest. None of this is far from you. You do not need to journey to distant mountains. You do not need to retreat from the world. Right here, in the simple rhythm of your own life, these teachings are already present. In the way you meet the morning light, in how you speak to another, in how you listen to your own heart. And now, as you drift even deeper, you may notice there is nothing left to do, no insight to grasp, no state to achieve, no version of yourself to become. Even the stories themselves can be released like petals carried on the breeze. What remains? This breath, this body, this presence, and perhaps, beneath even that an openness, as vast and quiet as the night itself. You are held, you are safe, you are whole, just as you are. Rest here. In this simple being, there is no rush, no end, only the quiet unfolding of this moment. The night is fully here now, all around you. The world has quieted. Even the trees outside your window seem to rest, their leaves unmoving beneath the stars. The hush of these hours is not empty, it hums with a subtle presence, like the space between notes in a melody, and you are here, resting within it. The body is heavier now, sinking naturally into the bed. The breath is slow, effortless. You do not need to guide it. It knows its way. Perhaps by now the stories of the evening have softened into the background, like distant chimes fading in the breeze. You do not need to remember them. They have done their work not by filling the mind, but by emptying it of unnecessary striving. And in their place, what remains? Silence. Not the silence of absence, but the living, breathing stillness beneath all things. There is a moment in every breath after the exhale, before the next inhale where nothing is moving, yet everything is alive. It is in this space that true rest begins. Now, as you lie here, I invite you to settle into this silence not as something to achieve, but as something already present, like the surface of a still pond beneath the moon, like a field resting after harvest. Like the pause between heartbeats, there is nothing you need to do here. No more stories to unfold, no lessons to grasp. Only this gentle being. And as the body sinks further into relaxation, notice how the mind too begins to float lighter, less tethered to thought. If images arise, let them drift like clouds across an open sky. If emotions stir, let them flow without resistance. Like water moving around a stone, there is no need to hold, nor to push away. The teachings of this night have all pointed here not to a destination, but to a way of being, a hand that knows when to hold and when to release, a heart that offers without calculation, a mind that can rest without striving, a presence that meets life as it is. And now, as the hours grow deeper still, you may sense that the silence itself is a kind of teaching, a space where wisdom arises not from words, but from direct experience. Feel the breath as it moves in and out. Notice the spaces between. Feel the weight of the body and the lightness within it. Sense the quiet presence that holds it all. You are not separate from this silence. You are of it. You are the moon reflected in the well, the water that holds the reflection, and the stillness beneath both. There is no need to think of this in words. Let it be felt. Let it be known in the marrow of your being. And if the mind reaches for something, another thought, another story, simply smile inwardly and return to this. The breath, the body, the silence. This is your temple, not built of wood or stone, but of awareness itself, always here, always open. And in this temple, there is no striving, only the natural unfolding of rest, of presence, of peace. So now, let go even of listening. There is nothing more to follow, nothing more to do. Only this gentle drifting deeper, softer, frayer, like petals falling upon still water, like starlight dissolving into dawn. Rest here. You are safe. You are held. You are home. The night breeze around you now vast, soft, timeless. Your body rests in a deeper stillness, as if the earth itself were holding you in a quiet embrace. The breath moves without effort, like the slow ebb and flow of the sea beneath the stars. By now, the stories have faded into the background of awareness. Their images drift like soft echoes, no longer needing to be grasped. You may find that the mind itself has grown quieter, more spacious, like a room with the windows open to the night. And here, in this space, something subtle begins to arise, not as thought, not as emotion, but as a kind of listening, a listening that comes not from the ears, but from the heart, a listening that has no object, no goal, simply a deep attunement to what is present. This is the natural unfolding of the teachings you have heard tonight, not to fill the mind with knowledge, but to soften the edges of knowing, so that the deeper wisdom already within you can be heard. For beneath all the striving and seeking, beneath the stories and identities we carry, there is a still, quiet, knowing, a wisdom as ancient as breath itself. The Zen masters called it your original face, the awareness that is untouched by thought, untouched by time. And perhaps, as you lie here now, you can sense it not as something distant or mystical, but as the very ground of your being. It is here when the breath moves. It is here when the breath pauses. It is here when thoughts arise. And when they fade, It is here in the weight of the body and in the spaciousness within it. There is nothing you need to do to access this. It is not an achievement. It is what remains when striving falls away, like the surface of a still pond that reflects the moon when the waters grow calm. And in this space of listening, you may notice subtle movements with perhaps a soft unwinding in the body, perhaps an easing of the heart. Memories may drift in and out. Emotions may rise like gentle waves. There is no need to hold them, nor to push them away. They too are part of this living silence. Even the breath, even the beating of the heart, these too arise and pass in the vastness of awareness. And beneath them all, a deeper stillness remains. As you continue to drift, you may begin to sense that this stillness is not empty. It is alive. It listens. It knows. It holds all things without judgment. And perhaps, as you rest here, this knowing begins to whisper not in words, but in a felt sense of being, that you are already whole, that nothing is missing. That peace is not something to be found, but something that reveals itself when you no longer chase it. The teachings of tonight, each story, each image have all pointed here, to this listening, to this being, the monk and the empty hands, the fans moving in winter air, the master beneath heavy robes, the taste of salt, the stroke of a brush, the moon in the well, the open hand, the quiet gate beneath the stars. Each was a doorway not to more doing, but to deeper being. And now, as you lie here in the heart of the night, the greatest teaching of all arises. Silence, presence, this moment, exactly as it is. Nothing to hold, nothing to release. Simply resting in what is. And in this resting, something opens not outward, but inward. A tenderness toward yourself, toward this human journey you are living, toward the breath, the body, the heart. No perfection is required here. No performance, no special state. Only this gentle listening to the life moving within you. And as you continue to drift, feel how the body grows heavier, yet the awareness grows lighter, more spacious, more at ease. The breath carries you, wave upon wave, deeper into this sea of rest. You are not separate from this stillness. You are of it. You are the moon and the well, the breath and the space it moves through, the heart and the listening that holds it. Rest here. There is nowhere else to be, nothing more to do. Only this. Let the silence carry you. Now the night holds you fully. The hours beyond midnight have a different quality, thicker, slower, softer, as though time itself has loosened its grip and allowed you to drift free of its usual pull. Your breath is even slower now. The body rests in a depth of stillness it may not often visit. Muscle, each cell, softening further with each breath out. Perhaps by this point in the journey, you notice there is less of you doing anything. No longer listening as an act, no longer seeking understanding, only the natural unfolding of rest. And this, too, is a teaching, perhaps the deepest of all, for so much of life is lived in effort, conscious or unconscious. The effort to be better, to understand more, to heal, to awaken, to become. Even our spiritual paths can become fields of striving, another place where the mind believes it must attain something, become someone new. But in this space of the night, in this bed, in this body, what if there is nothing more to do? What if the deepest peace comes not from adding, but from subtracting, not from reaching, but from releasing. Consider the stories we have traveled through tonight. Again and again, they have pointed here. The monk taught to put it down and then, if needed, to carry it without clinging. The fans moving in winter when the task is no longer about results, but about unwavering presence. The robes worn in heat not to impress, but to embody a commitment that does not depend on circumstances. The salt tasted, revealing the fallibility of the mind's proud claims. The brushstroke key a middle way, neither too tight nor too loose. The open and closed hand knowing when to hold, when to let go. The moon in the well reflecting freely, giving light without seeking recognition. The open gate where the freedom that matters is not external, but within. And now, in this space, your own body becomes the teacher, the breath, the heart, the gentle pull of gravity, all showing the way of surrender. There is no need to try to sleep. Sleep is not something we do. It is something that comes when doing ceases, when we release control, even of rest itself, and even if sleep has not yet fully arrived. Notice this, how deeply the body has already let go, how the mind drifts more easily, untethered from the loops of day, how awareness itself becomes more diffuse, less caught in form. This is the natural unfolding, like petals closing at dusk, like a stream settling into stillness beneath the stars. And so, in these last moments before full rest, I invite you to release even the idea of practice. No more listening for meaning, no more watching the breath, no more effort at all, simply being exactly as you are, in this bed, in this breath, in this timeless night. Let the breath move on its own. Let the body rest as it will. Let the mind drift where it may. If thoughts arise, they are only clouds in the vast sky of awareness. If emotions stir, they are waves on an endless sea. And beneath it all, the vast stillness remains, the place where no striving can reach, the place where you are already whole, already home. This is not something you need to remember, not something you must keep tomorrow. It is always here, beneath the surface of doing, beneath identity, beneath thought, beneath the roles of the day. And now, as you drift, know this: the night carries you, the earth holds you, the breath breathes itself. You are enough. You are safe. You are loved. You are free to let go. Deeper now, deeper still, beyond words, beyond thought, into the natural, effortless rest that is your birthright. Let the body sleep. Let the heart rest. Let awareness dissolve into the vastness. There is nothing more to be done. You are home. The night now rests in its quietest hour. Perhaps you feel it, that subtle shift when the world seems to pause completely, as if even time itself holds its breath. Outside, the stars drift through their endless dance. Inside, your breath moves softer still. The body now so deeply at rest, it seems to float in space. And here, in this most tender place, let us speak not in concepts, not in teachings, but in the language of presence. For at this depth of night, words grow thin. What remains is the felt truth of being. You may recall that earlier, among the stories shared tonight, there was an image. The greatest temple is the one you carry within your own clear awareness. Oh, what does this mean? Perhaps you have visited temples, places of beauty and stillness, where incense drifts upward like prayer, where bells ring out across courtyards. Perhaps you have sought peace in such places, and rightly so. But here is a truth the Zen masters quietly point to: no outer temple, however grand, can give you what is not already within. And no place, however humble, can diminish the sanctuary that already lives in your own heart. You do not need robes or rituals now. You do not need mantras or teachings. You lie here in this bed, in this body, and already the temple is here, not as a structure, but as a space of deep presence. The body itself is the temple wall softened now. Open, the breath is the incense, rising and falling in unseen currents. The heart is the altar symbol, un adornet, quietly beating in the center of your being. And awareness itself is the open sky above the temple, vast, unbounded. Nothing more is needed. And in this inner temple, the teachings of this night echo softly, not as ideas, but as living presences. The wisdom of knowing when to hold and when to release, the courage to meet life without clinging or resistance, the humility to let go of the mind's proud certainties, the freedom of resting in the middle way, not too tight, not too loose, the compassion that sees through walls and offers open gates. These are not distant ideals. They are alive in in the breath that breathes itself, in the heart that knows how to soften, in the body that surrenders more deeply with each passing moment. And in this inner temple, there is nothing to strive for, no attainment to grasp, only this, the gentle unfolding of being. The moon that reflects in the well does not reach for its image, it simply is. The cherry blossom does not plan its open in it, unfolds when the time is right. The breath, too, moves without effort. The heart beats without command. Life flows, even now, through this resting body, quiet, unhurried. And so, as you drift deeper, trust this: you do not need to make anything happen. You do not need to keep this peace. You do not need to remember these teachings. The temple is always here. Whenever you turn inward with gentle presence, you are already within it. No key is needed, no invitation required. And if, in the days to come, the mind stirs with restlessness, or the world pulls you into its busyness, remember, you can return with a single breath, with a simple turning inward, with a moment of soft attention. The temple is not elsewhere. It is not a future state. It is this awareness, right here, even now. And now, as your body grows even heavier, and awareness grows more diffuse, let yourself rest fully within this inner temple. Let the breath guide you deeper into the sanctuary of sleep. Let each exhale be a release, each inhale a soft arrival. There is no gate to close, no walls to defend, no ritual to perform. Only this, resting and being, safe, held, whole. You are home. You are home. You are home. Now, the night is nearly seamless. You may feel as though you are floating not in space, not in thought, but in a boundless ease, where body, breath, and being dissolve into one continuous unfolding. And yet, as deep as this rest has become, the stories of this night were never meant only for this quiet hour. They are seeds, planted gently in the soil of your life, in time, without force or striving. They will bloom in the light of your everyday moments, And perhaps among these teachings, one thread runs through them all: simple, subtle, yet endlessly profound: the middle way. Not as an abstract principle, not as a distant spiritual ideal, but as a living path, a way of being you can feel in each breath, each choice, each moment. You have already met it in many forms tonight, in the brushstroke that flows not too tight, not too loose, in the monk's release of striving, not forced surrender, but gentle allowing, in the fans moving with calm rhythm, neither resisting the cold nor seeking comfort, in the hands that know when to hold and when to open, in the robes worn with presence, whether seen or unseen, in the gate that invites honest choice, no driven by fear nor by impulse. And so too in your own life. The middle way is always here, quietly inviting you to meet each moment with balance. Perhaps tomorrow, or in the days ahead, you will notice a place where you are pushing too hard, straining for an outcome, caught in the grip of should and must, and of tell, or a place where you are letting go too much, not from wisdom, but from avoidance or weariness. In either case, the middle way whispers, return, soften, feel. It is not about perfection. It is not about staying in a fixed center. It is about moving with life, adjusting, attuning, responding with presence, like a dancer finding harmony with the music, like a tree yielding to the wind, yet rooted in the earth, like the breath itself, rising, falling, neither held nor forced. And the more you rest in this natural rhythm, the more life becomes less a struggle and more a flow. You may notice the conversations that feel lighter when you release the need to be right, the work that becomes more graceful when you stop forcing progress and trust the process, the relationships that deepen when you neither cling nor withdraw, but meet others with open, steady presence. The inner life that softens when you stop chasing special states and allow this ordinary moment to be enough. This is not a lesson to master once and for all. It is a path to walk gently, with curiosity and kindness toward yourself. Some days, you will notice you are too tight, then loosen a little. Some days, too loose, then gather a little. Breath by breath, step by step, the middle way lives through you. And perhaps you will remember, the Zen masters did not teach this path to remove you from life, but to bring you more fully into it, to live in balance amid joy and sorrow, to meet ease and difficulty with the same steady heart, to rest in the simple dignity of presence, whether in the hush of a meditation hall or in the noise of a busy street. And now, as this night carries you deeper into rest, feel how this middle way is already here in this very moment. The breath moving in its natural rhythm, the body resting not held stiff, nor collapsed, but gently supported. Awareness, open, neither grasping nor drifting, even in sleep. The middle way remains not something to do, but something to trust. You are already on this path. You have always been. And as the stories fade into the soft darkness, know this: you do not need to awaken tomorrow as a new person. You do not need to remember each teaching or each image. You need only return, again and again, to this breath, this step, this choice, this moment. And in doing so, you will find that life itself becomes your greatest teacher. Each experience, each encounter, another invitation to walk the middle way with grace. Now, rest. Let this knowing sink deeper than words. Let it settle into the marrow of your being, not to be grasped, but to be lived. The breath moves, the heart beats, life unfolds, and you, exactly as you are enough. Rest well, traveler of the way. The path continues beneath your feet even as you sleep. Now, the threshold between wakefulness and sleep is barely a veil. Perhaps you are already floating beyond its edges, where thoughts no longer form clear shapes, where the body feels weightless, where time itself seems to dissolve. This is a sacred space, not because it is rare, but because it is so natural that we often overlook it. And in this moment, there is no need even to listen anymore. There is no teaching left to absorb, no story to follow, only this soft unfolding now. You have walked through many doors tonight, each story a gentle gateway, each teaching a whisper reminding you are not what you do, you are not what you achieve, you are not the striving mind. Beneath all of that, beneath even the roles, the identities, the experiences, you are this simple presence. Here, where even breath feels like a vast ocean, moving you in and out of being, you can taste a deeper rest, a rest that is not merely the absence of activity, but the presence of pure being. The Zen masters sometimes called this sleeping without sleeping. Ole, a state where the body rests, the mind lets go, and awareness remains a clear, boundless space. You may not notice when it comes, you may not remember it tomorrow, but trust this, it is already here. Beneath even this listening, there is nothing more you need to do to arrive. You are already in the center of it. The breath breathes itself. The body releases its last traces of holding. Awareness expands not outward, but inward into the vastness that holds all things. And here, the middle way becomes not just a path through waking life, but through this space as well. You do not need to force sleep. You do not need to resist wakefulness. You rest in the space between a place of neither grasping nor pushing away, like the moon reflected in a still pond, like the brush stroke flowing across empty paper, like the fan moving through cold air without seeking warmth. Your being, too, can rest without purpose. No need to try to sleep. Sleep is not something you accomplish. It arrives when effort ceases, when the striving mind finally bows to the deeper rhythms of life. And even if sleep does not come immediately, know this is enough. This resting, this being, this openness. For often, the deepest nourishment arises not from sleep alone, but from surrender, from releasing the layers of doing, from allowing yourself to simply exist. Perhaps tomorrow, you will awaken with a lightness, a subtle shift that cannot be explained, not because you grasped some great teaching, but because you allowed yourself to rest more deeply than before. For this is the quiet truth. Zen offers not a life free of challenges, but a heart free of clinging. And now, as you drift beyond words, beyond breath, beyond the sense of trying, end of chapter, let the teachings of this night dissolve like mist. You need not remember them. They are already part of you, like water returning to the sea, like the sky holding the stars. And if you awaken in the night, no worry, simply return to this breath, this body, this space of being. There is no wrong way to rest. There is no wrong way to be here. You are held by something greater than striving, by the vast, living presence that holds all things. Now, drift deeper, beyond sleep, beyond thought, beyond the small self, into the open embrace of what is. You are home. You are whole. You are already free. Rest now. Traveler, rest in the boundless. Rest in the heart of being itself. The night has now become boundless. Perhaps you no longer feel where the body ends and the air begins only. The soft ebb and flow of awareness itself. And in this vastness, only one thread remains. The breath, always here, always moving, always enough. There is a quiet wisdom in the breathone that asks nothing, yet offers everything. It does not demand understanding. It does not require effort. It does not seek to be correct or deep. End of sight. It is simply life, moving through you. And now, as you lie here, more weightless than heavy, more space than formlet, this breath become your companion, not something to watch too closely, not something to control, only a gentle thread to follow if you wish, a thread that carries you deeper and deeper still. Perhaps you notice the inhale rising like a soft tide, the exhale falling away like mist. And between them a moment of perfect stillness, a doorway, a pause where being is enough. This breath connects you to all life, the monks in distant temples, sitting in the hush of dawn, the trees outside your window, breathing in and out through leaves, the animals sleeping beneath the stars, the rivers flowing silently through the earth, the very sky itself. And in this breath, you are already whole, already complete, already home. No need for mantras, no need for visualization, no need even for practice. Only this breath, this moment, this life moving as you. And if the mind stir-slit it, if thoughts drift inlet, them float like leaves on a stream. If emotions arise, welcome them as passing weather. But always, beneath it all return to the breath. It is the ground beneath your feet, the sky above your head, the river that carries you without effort. And with each breath now, feel yourself sinking deeper, the muscles melting, the bones heavy, the breath so soft it is almost a whisper, the heart resting in its natural rhythm. You are no longer listening to something. You are listening as something, as the breath itself, as awareness itself, as life itself. And now, the breath may grow so subtle you barely notice it. That is perfect, for even as the body sleeps, the breath continues. Even as the mind dissolves into dreams, the breath remains. Aquiet gardien, a steady friend. There is no need to guide it. It knows its way, as do you. And as you rest here, perhaps you sense there is no end to this unfolding. Even sleep is not a stopping point, but a deeper movement into the mystery of being, and the breath will carry you there, gently, naturally, without force. One breath, and another, each a small boat on an endless sea, each an invitation to let go, a little more, a little more, a little more, until even the sense of letting go fades. And there is only the breath, and the vastness it moves through. You are safe here. You are held. You are part of the great unfolding. Always have been. Always will be. Now, rest. Let the breath carry you. Let it be enough. There is nothing more to do. Breath by breath, moment by moment, you are already home. Now, the sense of time itself may be fading. You may not know if moments have passed, or if you've drifted beyond them. And this is exactly right. For here, in this depth of rest, time is no longer your guide. There is no clock to follow, no measure of how long or how deep, and only the unfolding of being itself. Breath by breath, you move through a space where striving no longer applies, where even the idea of progress has melted away, where what remains is not you trying to rest, but rest itself, happening through you, perhaps, by now. The breath is so soft, it feels as though the body breathes itself. Perhaps there are no longer clear thoughts, only drifting sensations, waves moving through a vast sea of stillness. And beneath even this silence, not the silence of absence, but the living silence that holds all things, it is here that the deepest rest lives, not as something to be reached, but as what you return to when all effort falls away. Consider this: the cherry blossom does not strive to open, the moon does not strive to shine, the river does not strive to flow, and you, too, need not strive to rest. This body knows how to sleep. This breath knows how to carry you. This awareness knows how to return to its source. You do not need to do it. You do not need to get it right. You do not need to judge the quality of this moment. There is no right way to rest, no wrong way to be here. Everything is held. Everything is allowed. And if the mind drifts, let it drift. If the body shifts, let it shift. If awareness fades, let it fade. You are already where you need to be. There is no other moment waiting for you. There is no better version of this rest. Even now, even here, this is enough. And as you continue to float in this timeless space, perhaps the last edges of doing soften, the breath soft, the body weightless, the heart open, the mind vast and free. No striving, no seeking, only the quiet unfolding of presence. And here, even the idea of practice dissolves. There is no longer you practicing rest. There is only rest, happening naturally, like the sky holds the clouds without effort, like the ocean holds the waves without resistance, like the earth holds the roots without demand. And so this body, this breath, this awareness are held by life itself. There is no separation. There is no goal. Only this: breath moving, heart resting, body unfolding. And beneath even this, a vastness with no name. You may sense it now, a space where even breath is not required, where even body is not a boundary, where even mind is not the measure of who you are. Here, there is only what is, silent, vast, luminous, without center, without edge, without time, without becoming. And from this timeless rest, life will move again naturally when it is ready. But for now, there is no need to return, no need to rise, no need to awaken. You are free to drift deeper, to dissolve more fully, to be carried by the breath of the universe itself. No path, no destination, no traveler, only the dance of being. Rest here, rest beyond time, rest beyond doing, rest beyond self. You are home. Now, perhaps even the sense of story has faded. Perhaps even the soft thread of this voice feels more like a distant ripple on a vast sea. And this, too, is perfect. For here, in this depth of night, beyond the folds of thought and identity, there is only one simple truth remaining. You are already whole. always have been, always will be. There is nothing missing in you, nothing to fix, nothing to add, nothing to become. The cherry blossom is complete in its unfolding. Whether in full bloom or gentle fall, the moon is complete. Whether waxing or waning, the breath is complete. Whether full or soft. And you, too, in this very moment complete. No further striving required, no further becoming necessary. And perhaps now you sense this not as an idea, but as a felt truth. The body rests without striving to relax. End of quote. The breath moves without effort to deepen. End of quote. Awareness simply is vast, open, unbound. Here, there are no boundaries, no separation between self and world, no inside and outside. End of quote. No you and life. End of quote. All is one seamless unfolding. You may feel the breath moving not just through your lungs, but through the entire field of being. The body, not as a separate form, but as part of the vast ground of existence. Awareness, stretching beyond skin and thought, touching everything and nothing. And in this space, words fade. There is no need to understand. End of 14. No need to grasp. End of 14. Only to rest in what is. The Zen masters sometimes called this the original face. The face you wore before you were born. The face that is not a face, but the essence of presence itself. And you are resting in it now. No striving to awaken. No grasping for insight. No seeking for experience. Only this timeless, boundless being. Perhaps tomorrow, the mind will seek again. This is natural. But a part of you will remember this wholeness, this resting in the vast embrace of life. And when moments of striving arise, or waves of restlessness return, you will know you can return to this, not by force, not by technique, but by letting go of what was never needed. The breath knows, the body knows, awareness knows. And so, now, drift even deeper, not to a place, but to this boundless wholeness that holds all places, not to a state, but to the spaciousness that holds all states, not to a better you, but to the vastness that was never separate from you. There is no edge to this rest, no limit to this peace, no border to this being. Breath moves, heart rests, awareness opens, being is, and even these words can now dissolve, for what they point to is already here, already known in the deepest silence. You are not moving toward this wholeness. You are this wholeness. You do not enter this peace. You are this peace. You do not become this vastness. You are this vastness. So now, let go even of this voice. Let go of this guiding thread. Let go of all effort to do or be. And simply rest in the boundless, in the whole, in what has always been here. You are home. You are complete. You are free. Now, rest. Now, the journey has become formless. The stories, the breath, the teachings all have softened into the spaciousness of this moment. You are no longer listening in the way the mind understands. You are no longer following a path. You are simply resting in the natural unfolding of life. And this is the true heart of the way. It does not begin. It does not end. It flows endlessly, seamlessly, effortlessly. Perhaps now the breath is so subtle you feel as though it breathes the universe itself. Perhaps the body is no longer felt as body, but as space open, vast, timeless. Perhaps even awareness has softened, no longer holding form, but resting as presence itself. And if so, perfect, and if not perfect, there is no measure here, no goal, no better state to achieve. The middle way continues beneath even this balancing, not effort and ease, but being and non-being, a gentle flow that carries all things. And so, if sleep has already come or is there, let the teachings fade into the depths of your dreaming. Let them whisper through the corridors of your inner world. And if you are still drifting in the space between waking and sleep, this too is enough. There is no better state to reach. This moment is already whole. And if tomorrow, when you rise, there is a subtle sense of spaciousness, a softness, where once there was striving, you know that this is the natural fruit of this night's unfolding. Not because you understood the teachings, not because you practiced well, but because, in resting, you allowed what is always here to be known again. For this is the way of the way. When you grasp for it, it hides. When you chase it, it slips away. But when you rest in what is, it reveals itself as what you have always been. The breath knows this. The body knows this. The heart knows this. And so, now, you can trust. There is no end to this path. No need to conclude this practice. No need to finish this journey. Even as the words fade, the way continues. Even as the voice grows silent, the breath carries you. Even as the night turns toward dawn, this presence remains. It does not depend on this recording. It does not depend on the stories. It lives in you as you. And when the time comes for sleep to fully take you, let it. When the time comes for waking, let it. No force, no resistance, only this gentle flow, like a river without beginning or end, like the breath without origin or destination, like the heart of life itself. Now, no more listening is needed. No more words are needed. No more doing is needed. You are already home, already whole, already at peace. Rest here as long as you wish, as deep as life will take you, without boundary, without end. The way continues, and you are it. And now, there is no more to say, no more to guide, no more to offer. The stories have been told. The breath has carried you. The stillness has opened its door. And yet this is not an ending. There is no ending to this way. Even as this voice fades, the presence remains. Even as the words grow silent, the breath continues its soft rhythm. Even as your awareness drifts beyond listening, the path unfolds within you. Perhaps by now, you are already far from thought, floating in dreams, or in the vastness between them. Or perhaps you still drift gently at the edge of wakefulness, aware of the breath, the body, the space. Wherever you are, this is perfect. There is no need to awaken, no need to finish this journey, no need to close this space. You can remain here as long as you wish, as deep as life will carry you, as soft as the breath will allow. And when, in its own time, the new day comes, when light returns to your room, when the sounds of morning stir, you may carry something subtle with you, a softness where once there was tension, a spaciousness where once there was striving, a knowing that beneath all doing, all becoming, you are already whole, And this is the quiet gift of the way. It asks nothing. It requires nothing. It is always here, breath by breath, step by step, moment by moment. So now, let go even of this voice. Let go of this guiding thread. Let go of all doing. And simply rest, as breath, as being, as the way itself. You are home. You are whole. You are free. Sleep well. Dear traveler, the path continues. Always.